Okay, so now we're gonna go over how to work with arrays and how to put objects inside of arrays. So let's create a file called building.java. So this one, it's gonna give us the building number and the building street. So we'll do public class building. Okay, then we do int the num. This will contain the building number, and then let's do string street, str for street. Okay, so now let's set up our constructor, public building, and inside our constructor we'll set int number and then string street. So it'll be num equals number. Obviously this constructor we're going to pass in the building number and building street from the main method. So num equals number and street equals str equals street. There we go. And then obviously let's return everything. So let's do public int get number. So we'll just do return num and then do public string get street. Okay, and we'll do return street. Alright, so we have our building class finished. Now in here, I'm gonna set up. Let's say I want to get the portfolio for 3 buildings, and I'm gonna store them into an array. So what I could start off by doing is do building. So remember we call making an array. So it'll be building square bracket, and I'll do build equals new building, and then the size of the array. So I'm gonna have this size to be 3. Now to store the contents, to store 3 contents into this array, I'll do build. Obviously remember array starts at 0, and this will be equal to new building, and then you pass in values for the constructor. Okay, so this one, it's the building's number is 1215 at broad view. Okay, now I'll do build 1 is equal to new building, and then I'll do 10 Downing. 10 Downing Street. I think that's baseball Downing. I don't know. Then we'll do build 2. Okay, that's the last index of our array. It'll be equal to new building, and this will be 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, there we go. So this is how you can turn your building class into an array. Another way you can also do it is like this as well. So you do building. Hold on, sorry, I spelled it wrong. Building build equals, and then you do curly brackets, and then you pass in this new building into here. Then you do a comma, and then you pass new building of this one into here. Then you do comma, and then you pass new building of this one into here. Close the curly bracket, and then obviously this is 0, this is 1, this is 2 for index. So if you want to get the contents of this one, you would just do build square bracket 0, and yeah, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to do that right now because it's going to be really long writing. Now let's access the contents of this array. So we'll start by doing a for loop. For int I is equal to 0. I has to be, so we get our build dot length. We call this an array, so we can use the length function. And then I increments by 1 each time. Now we're going to do system.out.println, and we're going to get our building number. So we do is build square bracket I dot, then let's get num. Okay, so get num. Alright, so pretty much when I is 0, we access this one, then we get num from here. Okay, now when I is 1, we access this one, and then we get num, which will be 10. And then when I is 2, we access this one, get num, which is 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then let's also get the street name. So we just do build I again dot, and then let's get our return, which was get str. There we go. Okay, so that's how you can do it. Another way you can do the for loop is this way as well. So or you could do for. So what you do is put the class name building. Next to building, you can have a value of whatever you want. So let's call this B. And then what your array name was for your building class. So our array name was build. Now you just do the same thing again. I'm going to do s.out to be system.out. And you just do b dot get num. Okay, and then you do s.out.println. And you do b dot get str. Okay, so what this does is it iterates through all of your contents in your building array. So when it loops the first time, it's b dot get num. So it's gonna get the num of 1 to 15, and then your street as well. So display broad view, and then then when it loops the second time, it's gonna be accessing the contents of build square bracket 1, and then gets the contents of these two, and then when it's at 2, gets the contents of these two, and then prints them out. Okay, so that's how you can work with arrays. This is how you can put objects in arrays.